Hello, this is Childish Thing. Um, Making this video as kind of a reference point for the issue that I'm having with the date wheel. Um, Obviously, things are a lot easier to show someone in person, but since I can't show you in person, making this video so you can kind of see firsthand what I'm seeing and I can recreate the problem that I'm experiencing. So, let me start. So, let's see here. So we're on the 4th, and we can see that it's snapped all the way into frame. At current, the 4 is sitting at the bottom of the date wheel instead of centered, but that's kind of the least of my problems at the moment. So let's go ahead and open this guy up. I noticed that the problems seem to start happening consistently in the low 20s. Not sure what the reason for that is. So when I just hack the movement and roll us forward into the next date, this should snap forward to the next date, but the date will go to the bottom of the date window instead of in center. Yep. So we can see that it's not really sitting center. That's okay enough, I guess. But let's go ahead and go forward again. I'm going to go past 3 and then I'm going to skip past. So position 1, and let's go up to about the 18th. And now let's fast forward here. Now, on the 18th, it's worth noting that this date is sitting in the center of the date window like it's supposed to. Let's go forward another 12 hours. I'm impressed with where the date wheel begins to roll over for being an Asian clone movement. I don't really see any wiggle until right about here. You see it starts to wiggle. And then it snaps over about 6 minutes till. And again, we're right in the center of the date wheel like we want to be. Now, here's one thing that I'm not sure if you can notice this, but let me zoom in a bit. So after I've been kind of going past several times and experimenting with, just essentially rolling through the hours to get this to go over again, I noticed that a scratch on some of the dates started to show up that I don't believe were there when I first got the watch, and I'm not sure, perhaps there's something underneath the dial that's binding on the date wheel that's causing so much friction. I'm not sure what the deal is, but you can pretty clearly see that there's a mark on there. Let it back out. Okay, so let's continue to go forward here. Alright, let's keep going. This part's a little bit tedious. I think I've gone through this whole fast forward thing several times. Let's see here. I do believe that I noticed some marks on this one. Yep. Right on about the same spot here. Gosh, it is really hard to focus on, isn't it? Well, if you have them moving apart, you'll be able to tell. Yeah, now you can kind of see the scratch there. So I think something is binding on it. Oh no, I take this off of. Oops. All right. I do believe that the problem is going to start on the 23rd. Let's take a look in again here. I can swear that I see a mark just to the right of the 1 numeral. Alright, let's keep going. And Yeah, and we're still sitting in the center of the frame. And here we go. That's when the problem starts. So on the 23rd, so here's what's going to happen. I think around 9 p.m. It's going to roll over to the 23rd the rest of the way. Just in the afternoon. Now we're in the afternoon. So here's what happens. We get to about 9-ish. And there. So right around here, now it clicks the rest of the way over to the 23rd. And then just a few hours later, then it begins to roll over again, and that's as far as she gets there. Okay. And now we're way behind. And I can just keep going. We've now gone a full 24 hours and it's not gonna roll any further. It's definitely binding on something. It's sticking for sure. But what the cause of the problem, I just can't be sure of. And now I've gone 2 full days and the bait is still not rolled over. So I hope this video was helpful in determining what the problem is. Yeah. So if I pull it back here, oh, not quite far enough. There we go. Now I can. So now I roll it over. So now it's on the 24th, and I'm going to hack it, and we'll move forward again. And it doesn't quite roll over. And then it rolls the rest of the way over, and then it rolls not quite all the way over to the 26th. Now it's all the way over on the 26th, and now it's all the way over on the 27th. I find it interesting that it seems to stick on the same sets of numbers. And right now, the numerals are, I'd say that's pretty centered. Looks pretty centered to me. But when you get a little bit further, it changes, and then it's migrating towards the bottom of the date window. Snapping over nicely. And I've done this exercise just several times over. '30th. And oops, whoa. And now it's sitting a little bit low in the date window. And let's go over. And that is definitely sitting a little bit low in the window. And then it just kind of continues to do that, all of the dates after the first. I think until like the mid-teens are sitting low in the date window. Yeah, look at that. That's almost at the bottom. So that's kind of the, I'm going to go ahead and kind of end the video right about there, but this is the experience that I've been having with it. As you said, I've tried the process several times over again, you know, going through a couple 30-day cycles, you know, like this, and then after that, you know, switching over and doing it, going through a month cycle by rolling the hour hand. So hope this has been helpful. I'll go ahead and end the video there. It's already fairly long. Thanks. If you think of anything, let me know, but yeah.